Well, welcome back. My name is Sam, or Erfaren, and we got a couple things I want to do today. But first of all, as you might be able to tell from all of the different types of leaves falling around me, we are officially on 1.21.5. So I've updated everything here on the world. All the farms, I did double check. They are all still working. Everything is going as planned, but we'll start to see some of the variations and things that come with 1.21.5. Now, given that all of these chunks here obviously were loaded originally in 1.21.3, then in 1.21.4, and now in 1.21.5, it's going to be a little ways out for us to find anything that actually has these new changes, but they are still here, and that's pretty exciting. But anyway, that's all I've got about 1.21.5. Something I wanted to do to start today's episode is actually last episode when we were flying around trying to find the mangrove swamp that I thought was over here, I stumbled upon what I think is a trail ruin. I actually don't know because I've never seen a trail ruin before, but like basically right behind my head over this hill. So I want to start today by going over there, and if it is one, we'll do a little bit of archaeology, a little bit of excavating there, and then we'll get on with the rest of the episode. But I kind of want to start there, and then what I really want to do today is get started over here on the main village, particularly here in the market square. And because we have all these frog lights and, you know, essentially because we've spent so much time working on lighting, I kind of want to build like a specific lighting shop, quote unquote, here, that'll be where we actually store all of our lighting blocks. So we just have a specific storage place just for our lights. And I think that'll be fun. And that'll go probably right here behind my head. But first, before we do any of that, I would love to go and check out that trail ruin. We are going to go and empty out our inventory, though, before we do that. We might need to build a new brush, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But let's go see if we got ours still over here somewhere. I don't see it here. Is it in the archaeology chest? It is, and it looks like we'll probably be okay. So let's grab this and this. And then I guess let's head over to where I think this thing is. I was pretty sure it was just over this hill. So let's go see. Also, something I did want to say. So when I hit 100 subscribers a while ago now, I did a Q&A because I thought that was a big moment, and I wanted people to be able to get to know me a little bit better and, you know, ask whatever questions they have about me, about YouTube, about whatever it may be. And I thought now that we're at 500, might be another fun time to do another level, just because I've had the opportunity to talk to so many of you. But I feel like, you know, you only get, it's kind of a one-sided thing right now. If you see my videos and, you know, sometimes you'll pop into stream and things and ask questions, but I thought it could be fun to have another Q&A episode. So not the episode coming this week, but week following, I would love to do another Q&A, and if you're interested in that, please go ahead and drop any questions you have for me about, again, me, YouTube, whatever you can think of, drop it below, and I will grab a few to put into that video. So anyway, thanks. If you contribute to that at all, thank you so much. If you don't, obviously, thank you so much for watching and taking in the content regardless, but I wanted to let you all know that I thought that would be a fun idea, and I would love all of your participation on that. Anyway, with all that said, this is what I saw the other day, and I mean, this has got to be a trail ruin. I've not seen them before, but I know they're these, you know, mixtures of gravel and clay and terracotta and things, so this has got to be it. But I kind of want to channel my best archaeologist and take this apart very carefully. Also, full credits to MC Oda on me saying that. If you guys don't follow MC Oda, you definitely should, but they just finished a series of archaeology that I thought was so cool. So definitely check them out. I'm going to be channeling my best version of that as I do this. But anyway, let's just go ahead and cut through this. We're not going to do any, you know, grid mapping or things like that, but we'll at least try and get through as much of this as we can without destroying unnecessary things. And I know these things can stretch on forever, so we'll have to I don't know how much of this we're going to have to cut out, but I'm sure it's going to be much more than I am anticipating it to be. So I know there's a bunch of suspicious sand and gravel and things to find in here, and I believe there's a specific, maybe it's a music disc, or maybe it's a, like a, oh, what is it called? like a banner pattern or a pot pattern. I'm not sure on that though, but I'm pretty sure that is part of these as well. So we'll keep an eye out for those and just see. Oh, here's some suspicious gravel. Let's see. We got a pot. Any other suspicious gravel in our midst? Oh, right here. Here's another pottery shirt. Let's see. The heart pottery shirt. Is that one that we have? Let's look. It is not. So there we go. We got a new one right there. Sweet. Also, let's go ahead and take this out one more block too, because we got 2 blocks on the other side. So we'll just make sure we got all the space here to match. Okay. Let's just keep cutting away very carefully at this and see where this takes us. I think I could probably remove some of this gravel if we needed to. Obviously, you know, just be careful and don't remove any, well, only remove gravel after you've ensured it's not suspicious gravel kind of thing. Because I'm sure that the gravel is just supposed to be like filler block and not part of the actual structures. So maybe we'll do that once we get down to that point. But yeah, I'm really not sure. I kind of want to leave whatever the structure is though. So if we, you know, if we get through all this and, you know, I don't know. I don't want to take all this terracotta and stuff. I kind of want to leave it just to have this relic here. Okay, it looks like we got the suspicious gravel from right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this stuff out. So something I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I actually have a degree in anthropology. So I know a lot of random things about archaeology and such. But I have not ever actually been to a dig site. So this is, you know, the closest I've been to actually, you know, putting that part of my degree to action. Ooh, is that an armor trim? Shaper armor trim. That's got to be one that we don't have yet. This is not my trims box, but we'll go ahead and put that in with that. That's really cool. Another pottery shirt. Danger. Do we have this one? We also don't have that one. Look at that. We are filling this up. Sweet. Okay. We'll just be very careful on this layer because this is a whole lot more just gravel and dirt. So we just need to be paying a lot more attention to what we're breaking and not breaking. Oh, that was a piece of it. And I rushed through it. This is why you don't rush. This is why you do not rush on dig sites, folks. Because you'll break things like that. Who knows what that could have been? And that appears to be this layer. I think we're going to have to start cutting over, but I'm going to try and work down as far as I can on this one and just see how much more we've got to work with underground. But I can't imagine it's much more. Okay, yep, this appears to be the lowest level here. So we will work our way out of this, and we won't dig down any further on that side. Same thing goes for this. This goes down right into that pit that we were just in. So again, we'll just put a little stair there. And now I suppose we pick a direction. And I kind of want to go this way. So let's make sure there's nothing here. Okay, there's only this one. So let's clear this out, and then we'll start digging out this side. Howl, is that yet another new one? It is. That is 4 new pottery shirts right here, guys. I think that's the music disc. Relic. Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one before. Oh, goodness. Okay. Oh, that's what I was really hoping we'd find. That's exciting. So we have one of the music discs. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. This is beautiful, whatever this is. We'll just... I don't think I'm gonna... Maybe eventually we'll dig this all the way out. But for now, I'm just gonna clear out this layer of stone so that we have a perfect view of this whole room so we can figure out the scale of it. So it looks like maybe we'll go up one more block here just to make sure we get this fully cleared out. Well, this is a beautiful little room. I don't know what this mosaic was meant to be, but it's beautiful. Okay, so that, I guess, appears to be this side. Maybe we just do a run down this ledge and just make sure that it's completely cleared out. I don't think there should be anything back behind this, but again, we'll be thorough in our excavation. Okay, yeah, that's this room excavated, I think. So now, I guess we'll just keep on working our way down this line and see if something opens up this way. And then if not, we'll work on that side, because we know... I mean, I guess we don't know, but I'm assuming from how much stuff is right here, there's got to be something back behind this wall. So we'll work down this way and see if there's anything behind this one too. But then if not, we'll go to the other side. Well, this one really just turned out to just be this little cobblestone area. So... that's all this room is. So now we're going to shift our focus over to here. Very carefully. Again, I'm just going to clear away the stone first as we go, and then we'll go and get rid of the gravel that's in the way too. Okay. That appears to be this side cleared. So let's go through some of this stuff. That's not suspicious gravel, is it? Nope. Okay. And again, we're working our way through this top down so that none of the suspicious gravel falls and risks breaking. I had it paused when I was doing this. I wasn't paying attention, but we just found yet another trim. So now we get the host armor trim. Let's go add that to the collection. There's 3. I don't know how many we can find here that are only found here. Okay, this is wild to look at. The fact that this large of a structure exists underground here, that is incredible. We're still working on this part right here, but I just cleared out the top, and oh my goodness. Once again, the moment I stop actually recording, we find yet another template that we didn't have yet. This is the Wayfinder template, which again, I don't know if I've ever seen, but there we have that. We found a couple more razors. Really wasn't that much more, but that's exciting. My brush did just break though, so we are going to need to go make another brush, and then we can get right back into this. But given the brush broke and the shovel's looking broken, I think it's just a good time to go reset, and then we'll bring ourselves right back. Now that we got everything sorted out, let's jump back into this. I did also finally put unbreaking on this, because I realized that I didn't have unbreaking on it. So hopefully we can go a little bit longer in between stints of needing to fix our shovel now. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. This chamber just keeps going and going. I've cleared out all of this right here, but it keeps going this way and it keeps going this way. So we're still digging. Oh my goodness. I haven't found anything crazy yet as it comes to like structures or, you know, any new items or anything. But as you can see, it just keeps expanding. More hanging signs though. We'll have a ton of hanging signs when this is all done. I will say, I did just find this this campfire here, so we may as well light this and get some light in this corner. That's pretty cool. Oh, I don't know where else to continue on from here. Probably over there. I think we might need to take this up and out now and just see if there's more above, especially that structure right there. I vastly underestimated how difficult that would be. You can kind of see it over the back of my head over there. We're gonna go grab ourselves our beacon to speed this up just a little bit. All right, with our beacon in hand, we are headed back, and we're just gonna set it up, I don't know, somewhere around here. This is the whole space, by the way. This is what it looks like from above, clearing out all the way to the edges. So technically there's a little bit over here that we could still cut in as well, and a little bit right here, but this is where the meat of the project is. So I'm thinking maybe we build it, I don't know, for right now we just build it in one of these structures if we can. I don't know if it'll fit in here. Maybe we don't do that. Feels like a bad conservationist thing to do. We'll just build it right here. There we go. Haste 2. Now we can cut through this a whole lot faster. And I will say, I did already go through and make sure that all the suspicious sand in the area was handled. So we have nothing to worry about. That is all out of the way, and we can just dig straight down to get this all done. And you can see there's some areas that I cut out to show us where we need to move our cut to. So right here, we've got a little bit of work to do bringing this cut along this line to match up with the rest of everything else. Well, according to the Minecraft wiki, we have all but one possible rare item that you could find here. We're missing one single pottery sherd, but look at this whole area now that everything is removed. I mean, this is way bigger than I thought these were. I had no clue that these actually were this large. So that is so cool. And I made sure to leave that fire lit over there so, you know, we still got the smoke coming out of this billowing and showing what this all used to be. But here's kind of a mix of all the blocks. We got a mix there, some wood that I prepared, all this stone, all this dirt and gravel. And then here are some of the miscellaneous common items that we got. But then in here, right here on the bottom, all of these are the pottery sherds that we got from here. And we are only missing one, which regrettably, I feel like had to have been in one of the ones that I broke, which is just so sad. But we're only missing one pottery sherd. We got every single armor trim and we got the music disc, which is really exciting. I don't even think we have a jukebox yet, but hey, we at least have this and a couple other CDs now. So that's really exciting. I'm probably gonna leave this stuff here for right now. I might move it over, but I don't want to try and transport all of this over there in this moment. But hey, what a wonderful way to spend a couple hours. I did not think it was going to take this long, but honestly, that was a whole lot of fun. So I'm really glad that you guys sat around to watch me do that, because I've always wanted to do one of these and I just have never had the chance until now. So that was a whole lot of fun, and I thank you for sticking around to let me do that. I guess we could do a little bit of a walkthrough and just I can go through what I think of all of this. So here we have this central tower, which my understanding of this is it was just a central, you know, like area for people to meet. And then over here was a covered patio with this beautiful patterned terracotta here. And then on this side, I don't know what this is, but in my head, I'm thinking like a throne. Like this would be a chair for somebody to sit at, and then boom, you're at a throne. So that's my thought here. And then coming out over to here, this connects up right here. So what I'm thinking is that there's this covered patio, you walk in here and there's a cauldron in the corner, which makes me think this was like a kitchen maybe. So you got kind of this little blocked off area, your cauldron over there. So maybe this was a kitchen. And then this, just an entrance into the town as it was. So you'd have an entrance into this here. And then walking through, I don't know what this was. I don't know what this could have been. I'm thinking maybe a park or just a general sitting area for people to sit around. So you can think, you know, there was 3 wide brick all around this in the central area with one spot in the middle, which could be great for another fire pit or anything else here in the center. And then it looks like maybe at one point it was covered, but that has since rot away. And then over here we have what looks like a portal in an ancient city. To me, at least, it kind of looks like that. And then these around this one and around this one, I found a lot of wheat. So I'm wondering if these were just, you know, little farm plots here along this edge. And then over here definitely looks like more of a covered meeting area for a fire to tell stories and enjoy company. And that is the entire space. So from my preliminary review, this is what this looks like. But anyway, enough with that. Let's actually get on to what I really do want to do today, which is start working on the buildings around the market square. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, since we do have so much stone, I want to do stone brick for some of these, especially for the kind of the walkways and things. So we will need to probably prep quite a bit of stone brick, and then we should be good. So let's pop down here and see what we've got for stone and see if we do need to, in fact, bring some back over. I doubt it, though. Yeah, we're good. Okay. So I suppose let's grab some blocks and we'll just make some stuff to lay out a general plan, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do from there. Okay, so I've collected a bunch of just stone, brick, and things. So what we're going to do is we're going to head on over to the village right here to where all of those market stalls from the original village are. And I'm going to try and figure out how I want to lay out the future market square. So looking at it, it seems like this 2x2 area is the current center. But I think I want it to be maybe a little bit further away from that. So you see how there's a 4 space here. Let's make this a 4 space. So we'll actually put it here. Maybe. I think we can work with that. Well, but there's even 4 there. Are you 4 from here? So let's go. We'll go even one more. And I think maybe the issue that we're running into is that this one right here is not actually centered. There's a 3, actually there's only a 2 block gap here and then a 3 block gap here. So maybe what we do is let's push this one back 1 block. And then this should be lined up nicely. So we're just going to do this row by row so that I don't mess any of this up. Look at us. We're just doing tons of village reconstruction today. Beautiful. All right. So with that relocated, now we have a much more actually designated center to this. So let's go ahead and grab this out. And we're just going to place down a bunch of stone bricks for right now to set the center. Eventually, this will change, and it's not all just going to be stone brick. There's going to be some path and kind of a mix of things. But I just want to get an idea of what this shape looks like so that we know kind of what we're doing for the build to surround it. Okay, so this is actually a relatively nicely sized square here that will kind of have a lot of space to work with, I think. Sweet. Okay. So what I am thinking is this square here, I want to have builds kind of line the outside of it. So here in the middle, maybe we'll have like a bench or something just to, I don't know, look a little more, you know, part of the center of this. So we'll do maybe something like this. Actually, we might even, no, that's right. We're looking right now. So I have something like this, maybe a small fountain here in the middle. Nothing too crazy, given obviously that this is a 2x2 space, so it's a little harder to do a central fountain here. But we'll do that, and then we'll have these market stalls around. And then here in these open spaces, I was thinking that's where we would build the actual buildings. So I'm thinking like right here could be a building, and then we maybe still have a pathway right here, but then maybe this corner would be another building in time. And maybe do, I don't know if we need this huge, you know, long pathway when we could just do kind of a general 2x2 pathway here. Maybe something like that could work really nice. There's a lot of things to consider here. And honestly, maybe we just build the building and then decide what we really want to do with the actual center. Because there's a part of me that still wants this to actually be a 3x3 or even a 5x5 fountain, which would require us to then expand all of these just a little bit to have that work. So this is a 3x3 path coming in. I kind of just want to leave it with this 3x3 that's right here. We're gonna, hold on. I'm going back to the square just for a second because I've got an idea that I think might actually work out. It just might not look perfect with these stalls. We might have to move all of them. But if we come here and we see 1, 2, 3, so imagine this is the center right here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this side. We should only have 5 on this side, 4, 5. So if we go and expand this one more layer and then do an expansion here on the back, I think we should be looking good to actually have this be a 3x3 or larger space in the center. And then what we'll do to actually make this be centered is we'll just make this a 3 wide stand that goes over. And then I think we should be good from there. So this is going to be the new center, which puts, this would be, if we wanted to do a 5x5 fountain or anything, that would put that right there. And then if we just push, actually, if we just push these out to the edge of this, kind of like this one is, I think that's going to look really, really nice. So let's set this and forget this for a second. And then let's jump over and actually start working on the lighting shop. And I'm thinking for the lighting shop, I want to go kind of honestly with a mixed. Actually, here, let's fly back over to the main base and I'll show you kind of what I'm thinking. So similar to these buildings here, I was kind of thinking the lighting shop would be fun to have all these different colors and windows and things to have light shining out of, so that, you know, the idea of what it is very, very clear. So I kind of want to take inspiration from this and use a lot of spruce and deep slate and other things that we've used here but haven't really tied in over there. I think that's going to look really, really nice. So let's grab our other shulker box here. And yeah, I kind of assumed we probably didn't have much of this left, but let's go ahead and throw all of it in there. And I bet we've got some just sitting in our project boxes in the ender chest, but worst case scenario, we jump down into the mines and get ourselves some deep slate and then actually get to getting that built. A lot of blackstone in there, nothing in there. And nothing in there. So we are really looking low on deep slate. Okay. Well, it appears it's time to do just a brief bit of deep slate mining. So I'm going to go fix up my pickaxe, get some deep slate, and then we will get to getting this built. With all of that prep work done, I think it's time to get something built, and I want to put it right here. I don't want it to be huge. Like, none of these buildings here are meant to be massive. They're meant to be little buildings that we use essentially as additional storage for all the random things that aren't a part of our storage system. So like a big building, or, you know, a shop just for lighting sources, a shop for just for the swords and tools we get from the end, a shop just for, you know, logs, things like that. That's what I want to kind of fill this area. So I think here, what I'm going to try and do is have a shop that, you know, as you're coming up to this town market center, whatever we want to call this, you'll have an option here to go in through a diagonal door here. And then there will be another door maybe in this area to go through. And then the build itself, I think I'm just going to let my creativity take hold and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this built. I think it's safe to say I went a little overboard. Genuinely, the only plan I had was this. I was just gonna build this shop for the lights. I called it the Glowing Touch. I thought that was kind of a fun name. We can come up with something else too if people don't like that, but we got our lights. I'm gonna go through and place each thing in here. But we got kind of a bunch. They're not filled yet, and that's the point. It's storage. We're not selling anything. This is a fake store. So as we collect lights, we will store them in here, but everything will have its own place. So that's really the plan for this. So we just know where everything is at any given time. So that is what I did here. And then I was like, wow, this building kind of looks weird in this square. Maybe we should build a tree. And then I built a tree, and I just got to say, I loved that tree. Love that tree. But it just looks so nice. I don't know, something about just the balance of these two buildings I really, really like. I don't know how I feel about this lower section of stripped wood. I think maybe I need to just take it up just a little bit more. But I really love that. And then, so when I was done with that, I took a little walk over here and I was like, wow, none of this lines up. So I made this. And now we've got ourselves kind of this little ledge here that sets up right before the shore and gives a way for anybody coming from sea to come up and into town. And it connects, obviously, into the village as it is, with a little balcony, again, right here to take a look out. But then I was like, ooh, maybe I could add something else because I had made this path. And I was like, maybe I just cover it. But then when I had the idea to cover it, I was like, ooh, what if we built the tavern? Which, you know, hold on, we'll fly over there. If you remember from a few episodes ago, I was talking about lore here, where the person who built this house worked at a tavern when they were younger. And I was like, well, we got to find a place to put it. And I thought this was a great place, as this is kind of supposed to be more of like the old town area that's been around for a while. And so I've gone even older than either of these two building styles. Whereas this is kind of a mix of things we've got over at the base. This is like the very first kind of build style that we were doing at the base. Very, very flat, not much detail on the outside. I tried to detail this deep slate as much as I could, but obviously that is a, there's only so many blocks you can use to detail deep slate. But anyway, so we go up top, and because the outside is relatively bland, which again, that is on purpose. I tried to come up with some things for here, but then I thought it kind of matched more to how we did this if it was kind of flat and bland. I do want to find something to break up this section, but we'll get to the backside. So going in, because the outside was so bland, I decided let's go ahead and make the inside really, really warm and inviting. And I think I did a great job with this. I am so happy with how this looks. I kind of want to put even more posters and paintings and things on that wall. But walking in, this is where the town tavern would be. And I do not have a name for it. As a matter of fact, I just called it Tavern. So we gotta come up with a name for this tavern, because I still haven't actually named this town. So any ideas are greatly appreciated on that. But going in here, we've got kind of a main table with a couple just standalone tables, and then the bar top itself with our kegs behind. And then I think I might do some bookshelves down here eventually, but I wasn't sure, so I left that for now. And then you can see all the places where people tend to walk the most. So we've got these crackstone here where people are entering, crackstone here where people order, and crackstone here where the tender will come back and walk. So I thought that was a fun little detail. And I also did these little hanging plants that I just absolutely adore. So that is the tavern, but obviously because I had to move everything, then we ended up moving these like 2 or 3 times. You probably saw it in the time lapse. I moved these a couple times. So this is where they are for now. They'll probably move again. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that this little area of stone brick is probably going to extend out to here eventually. So these will find a final place, but for now they're going to be here, and then we'll maybe do some more buildings around here. But I am going to leave, like, any of these standing village houses that are just normal, I am going to leave them and build around them. So we do have a good basis, and we are, of course, going to leave this tower as kind of a relic to the battle. But yeah, so that is what I've been up to. Definitely far more than I was anticipating doing, but I'm really, really happy, especially with how kind of these front windows look and just how this whole building turned out. I really like this one. I was kind of considering doing some more greenery on the inside, but I just, given like the over by the, you know, the cliff over there, it kind of makes sense to have vines hanging off because it's all hanging off of a cliff. And then over here, it kind of made sense because these are overgrown houses. And this one is obviously kind of its own, you know, design of itself. And these were maybe intentionally placed vines to go onto this building. So it didn't really fit in with the light shop, or with the other building for that matter, which is why there's only vines on the inside of the tavern. So I tried to keep it relatively flat on the outside, relatively clean. I think I am going to go in and do maybe just a little bit more detailing on the roof to kind of break up the shapes. But all in all, I feel very happy about this. And now we've got a place to store all of our light sources. We've got kind of this building that's just here for the lore of it, but I do really enjoy it. And then over on the backside of this building, we've got a stables area. So this is where we could have horses in the future. And then we'll come up with something for this eventually, or maybe we'll just leave it flat. I tried to take some inspiration from here, but nothing I was doing was really tying in. So we gotta figure out something for that, or decide if that just stays how it is. But yeah, that's what I got done. And believe it or not, that's all the time I've got for today. So thank you, as always, so much for watching. If you're new or find yourself coming back, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you around. Next time, we will probably figure out some more builds to put around over here, or maybe start working, I don't know, down this way, doing maybe a town hall or something. I don't know. We got a lot of things to try. But what we will do for sure is a Q&A. So if you have any questions or anything at all that you want to ask me about Minecraft, myself, YouTube, whatever it may be, let me know in the comments and I will answer them in one of the coming episodes. So there it is. Thanks again for watching. Take care. I'll see you soon.